Morning, January 8th. The changeless abides with me. I am calm and peaceful in the midst of confusion. This morning's first quote comes from the Bible, the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 6. I am the Lord, I change not. From the text of Taoism, the Tao, considered as unchanging, has no name. And from thrice greatest Hermes, immovable is God alone, and rightly he alone, for he himself is in himself, by himself, and round himself, completely full and perfect. And so our reading begins. We should realize that all the great scriptures have taught one identical message, the unity of good. All the sacred books have been inspired by one mind. Each in its own tongue has told the story of reality. Quote, I am the Lord, I change not, end quote, was revealed to the Hebrew mystic. To the great Chinese sage came the same message. Quote, the Tao cannot change. It has no name, end quote. And to Hermes, God is in himself, by himself, full and perfect. If we can add to this glorified conception the realization that this divine being is the breath of our breath, omnipresent, forever within us, then we shall realize that we live in one eternal and perfect mind. An excerpt from the sacred books on the attributes of God says, quote, there is no variableness in God, since he is eternal, immortal, infinite. Nevertheless, he is that form which every transformation rises. End quote. This means that while we live in the eternal, which does not change, we are forever drawing from it, or from him, possibility of manifold expressions which give variety to existence and which make living interesting. Our affirmation this morning, I know that the changeless abides in me. I am calm, peaceful in the midst of confusion. I know that nothing moves the soul. Peace, infinite peace, is at the center of my being. I live, move, and have my being in that which is perfect, complete within itself. That self is myself. Let's take this into a time of silent contemplation and meditation. So with this breath, I recognize there is one infinite, ever-present allness. This one self, discovering the self within the self, yet always knowing it's present, always knowing it is surrounding itself by itself as itself, and fully infused within itself as its creation. This divine self is myself. That is how I know that I am one with it. By whatever name I call it, it is absolute perfection, absolute completeness. It is that very peace at the center of my being. It is the breath that breathes me. It is the intelligence that guides me. It is the abundance that sustains me. Knowing this to be true, I speak my word, claiming and affirming that I am continuously drawn to greater and greater levels of awareness. Awareness of the truth that has always been the truth of my being. And then as I become aware of the truth of my being, I become aware of the truth of all beingness. So today, I simply allow myself to live from this center of peace, even in the midst of chaos. I remind myself again and again that the essence of me is peace. So I am anchored in peace, grateful, grateful to know, grateful to sense in my very beingness the truth of this word spoken. And so knowing it is true, knowing it is already complete, I release, I let it go, and I simply step into an experience of it. Ashe, Shalom, Aho, Amen. And so it is.